In this video, I'm going to share on why your tutoring business is not growing. So I have 6 points and some of it might hurt your feelings. Welcome to business. Let's get started on the first one, which is you are not good at teaching. So a question, how do you know you're good at teaching, right? And the thing is that you might be saying, okay, it's the number of students who leave. But the thing is that if students leave, it's already a bit too late and you lose revenue, which is not what you want. So, in order for you to resolve this, usually you need to create a feedback form to understand from your students' perspective. Because what matters more? Your students, right? And you might be thinking, okay, I create a feedback form once the year ends. It's like, no, create a feedback form for every single lesson because they're gonna go to your class not for 1 day, not for 2 days, but for the rest of the time that they have with you. And you need to know whether they understand what you are teaching. Because if they understand what you're teaching, that means they are having a good learning experience. So that's super important. I have tutors who have done it and they saw good feedback or even not so good feedback and they know what to improve on, which is great. So that is the first step of improving your teaching. It's the same as like how do you judge a restaurant through the food, right? Yes, but the food comes from the chef. So in the end, who is to blame? The food or the chef? The chef. So if you are not good, you should improve. If the learning experience is not good, you should improve. Another way to improve is to record yourself teaching. And this is an amazing way to know how not so good of a teacher you are. And that's very normal because you have high standards, right? If you have low standards and you think your teaching is good, but you're wondering why your tutoring business is not growing or why a lot of students are leaving, you know, recording yourself actually works, right? And the thing is that if you were to go to, an example to just share is that if you were to see national athletes, how they improve at that level is that they actually record themselves. And number one, not only they see themselves in doing the sports, the coaches will also see how they perform in the recording. Now they have another person to see how you can improve or how the person can improve. So some things to take note of, right? Because fundamentally students are joining your classes to improve in their grades, and the only way to do it is for you to teach very, very well. All right, the next point why your tutoring business is not growing is you're not good at hiring. So I got mentioned in an earlier video in my YouTube channel, you can search it up, where for example you are earning 350K per year as a math tutor, which is super impressive. But the thing is that you might be maxed out in the number of students you can get or the number of hours you can teach, right, in a week. So how do you then multiply this revenue? Simply, you say, oh, if I can clone myself, you could. It's called hiring. And the thing is, if you were to hire other tutors who teach other subjects, and you can offer the other subjects to your current students, you essentially multiply your revenue by three, and essentially you will hit your seven figures. And that's generally what tutors out there or tuition businesses out there is doing. They're just hiring tutors and then they're just selling to their own customer base. And you can also lengthen your lifetime value of your students or your customer to start from primary school and secondary school and then JC, IB and whatnot. And that really, really makes it such a big business, right? So the thing is that if I were to share with you, hiring is like how you get your students. So you market your tutoring service, you get some leads, right? You get some sign-ups for your trials and whatnot. And then from there, you hope or you try your best to actually make them join you so that it is sales. The only difference is that it is the same. You market that you're hiring, you make sure that they sign up in your application form so that you can see whether they're a good fit. And if they are, and if they are amazing, then you hire. And this is where you are able to scale beyond yourself. But the thing is that you might be thinking, I've tried this before, but it's not working. Like, have you called up every single person, have you think of ways to actually get more people to come to you? Have you actually pay ads to get people to work for you? It's the same, right? And the thing is that if you're not good at teaching, then if they see you teach, they don't want to work with you, essentially. I mean, other than salary, of course, right? But essentially, you need to be a good brand. Otherwise, why do I need to, work for you? Do you have benefits as well? So these are things that you need to think about, right? I have some videos about that in my YouTube channel as well, right? So other than that, the third thing is that you're probably living in the past. So maybe 5 years ago, you were having students coming to you, right, for your tutoring business, and you'll be like, oh my God, this is good money, right? Why is nobody seeing it? Now everybody is seeing it, and barely any students are coming in. And the thing is that because nowadays it's just how it is, right? People are becoming tutors. Younger people are becoming tutors, and they are better at marketing. They are better at getting people to join them. So what are you doing differently, right? And the thing is, if you're doing the same thing while time has changed, that's not something that you want to do. Okay. So the thing is that generally what I'm seeing right now is students want more than the results. Of course, everyone can help everyone to get better results. That's like if you can't do that, I don't know why you're in tutoring lah. But they want more than results, right? So a very good example is like Zenith Education Studio. They provide welfare for the students, right? Meaning that they provide food like Starbucks or acai bowl, and having what do you call this, outings, to just have a nice thank you to the students, right? And it's not even after after the exams, it's before the exams. Every term they have some form of outing. So this is a good way for students to decide, because like, okay, this is a boring tuition center with the same price, this is a fun tuition center with the same price, I'm going to go for the fun tuition center. And generally, younger tutors are a little bit more relatable to the students as well. So are you trying to become more relatable to the students, right? Because students want more than result, because everyone can give results. So what makes you stand out, right? Next thing is that students and parents are online. So if you're not doing any online marketing, whether it is paying for ads, doing social media, right? Reaching out to WhatsApp, right? These are things online, right? WhatsApp is online. So if you're not doing this, I mean, then that's where it's a bit hard for you to, grow your business, because a lot more of who you want to know about your tutoring business are online, and students are more online, right? So yes, you can go to the physical spaces, which is totally fine. But nowadays, students are also looking at, social media a lot. So if you are using this social media platform, then there's a chance that they might have seen your, TikTok videos, your YouTube shorts and whatnot. So these are things that you need to think about. Otherwise, you might be stuck at the same thing, or you might be wondering why students are not coming, because, well, the best years has passed, and if you want to stay in the industry, you got to be competitive. All right, the next one is this is what I've mentioned, right? Which is marketing, not predictable marketing. So I talked to some tutors about how they are reaching out, right? And the thing is that one of them, they only did marketing outreach, which is just messaging the parents in 3 months, just one time. And I'm like, that's not enough. You need to do constantly. So I did tell her to just like, come up with like literally all your contact lists. Just ask them, hey, I have an English tuition for primary school. Here are some of the testimonials, and do you know anyone who will be interested? If you give me a contact and they sign, then I can give you money. So something very, very simple. And once you have, we call this warm outreach, then you slowly go to other ways of marketing yourself, whether it's through Facebook groups, whether it's through social media. So these are things that you should decide. But if you're not doing marketing at a almost everyday constant basis, then there are other tuition centers out there who's doing that already. So this is something you need to think about. And yes, I understand tutoring is a cyclical business, meaning that every single month is not consistent, which is honestly is a business, lah, right? Most of the time, what I've heard from other tutors is that a lot of the students will join in the mid or later in the year because it's closer to the exams. But the best tuition business constantly know how to get students, right? Because if you were to, for example, market the same thing every single month, like for example, we have free trial, free trial, free trial, right? It's like, okay, that's great. You have marketing efforts. But if it's the same thing, then how do you know what works? Because then the only variable that's different is the month. So you need to create certain marketing angles for every single month, right? Maybe in January 2025, there is Chinese New Year. So you should kind of have a Chinese New Year promo. Then maybe in February, it can be still Chinese New Year or something else. It might be Valentine's promo. And then next month, which is January, February, March, that's where you can say you market it as, I would say, like Hari Raya promo or whatever, right? So these are things that you need to play around with to see whether it is effective, because otherwise it's not going to be effective if you are running the same ads and the months are different, right? So from Jan to June, this is where a lot of tuition business are struggling to get students because they don't know how to market. So the thing is that you definitely have students coming in these few early months. So get testimonials, or even just ask the parent on why they join, and they will fundamentally share with you the reason that you want other parents to know, which is starting early is the best choice. So look at the context of parents and see when did they join you and when did they actually get results from you, right? Not when now, but did they get results from you? So for the parents who join in the early months and they've gotten results from you, get the testimonial and then put it as an ad marketing. And that's where you are able to use a parent to tell other parents that, hey, joining in early is actually a good decision and it pays off well, right? Because another way is heavy discounts for yearly payments, are right, because you must see what's your lifetime value of a customer, and if you don't mind having a discount for a student right now, the thing is that you don't need to wait to get students anymore. You don't need to wait for June or late of this year, because if you are able to get the students, or if you're not able to get students, right, then other tutors will get and you lose a customer, right? So it's already a very competitive space, which I totally understand. But the thing is that if you can get it earlier and you're able to, of course, the earlier the better, then you don't have to worry for the rest of the month, because you already know that this student will be with you for a period of time that you probably have known. So that's the thing. If you just wait until June to just get, but the thing is, if everyone is fighting in June, you know, so to be competitive, go earlier. See what's the angle, and you have to do it. Otherwise, you're just spending ads dollars. You're doing it, or you're spending your time doing marketing and no results coming in. So this is something to take note of, right? So the next thing on why your tuition business is not growing is that you're focusing on the wrong thing. So I've talked to multiple tutors and educators, right? And the thing is that generally, if the students leave, generally it's a teaching problem, right? They don't understand, right? And some hard truth: if you're the only tutor, you are the problem, right? So you can say, oh, this student is not for me. Then why do you take the student? Because you need the money, right? But the thing is that that's where you need to decide what kind of student that you want to take in. Do you want to take in any student, or do you want to take in specific type of students, right? And if you were to have different type of students, how are you going to solve them? Because it's not a cookie cutter. Every student is different. There are faster learners, there are slower learners. The faster learners will get very bored if you are teaching at a pace for the slower learners. But if you teach too fast, the slow learners will not catch up, and they might not feel that this is worth the money, or they feel it's a waste of time and they leave. So essentially, you are the owner of the business. It is your fault if you're not able to handle different types of students, right? So this is something to take note of. I've seen other tutors who have done that before, right? Which is great. But the thing is that fundamentally, you need to know who or which kind of students you want, and how you're able to teach them at whatever level they are at, right? So if you're able to teach any level, amazing. If you've already like at the highest level, right? If not, then you have to solve the you problem, right? Next, if not getting students consistently, generally, I mean, fix the teaching problem if you have that teaching problem, right? But if you don't have students consistently, then that means it's a marketing problem. Are you marketing enough? Are you marketing every single day? How many times are you marketing every single day? One, twice, three times, 10 times, right? Right? If the more you market, I think the more you probably can get people to know more about your business. And then you also need to market well, because in this competitive social media ad space, you need to be very good, right? Not different, but very good at your marketing. So you can hire a marketing agency, or you can learn and be good at marketing, right? So if you have the money, it's better to always pay for the solution, which is hiring agencies, or just learn, but it takes time, right? There's pros and cons. So if a lot of students come for a trial, which is great, but not converting, it's a sales problem. So that means you go to the trial, and then maybe you try to pitch to them to join you. They don't join you. It's a sales problem. So if you are the only one doing the sales, you are the problem, right? So good news, can improve. Great, right? That is one thing about being human, is that we are always can improve. It's just whether you want to improve or not. You want change, but you don't want to change. It's like you want the change, which is to improve your business, but the only way to improve the business is to improve yourself, but you don't want to improve yourself. Hello, welcome to business. Insecurities you have to resolve. And lastly, looking for hacks. You might be thinking like, oh my god, there must be some kind of hack that this tuition business or better tuition business are doing. To be honest, you already know how to solve most of your problems. It's just that you don't want to do it, right? So, for example, you know that you're not that great at teaching, but you just like, oh no, it's competitive. Or you might be thinking, why students are not coming to you? And you see other tuition centers doing something different. It's like, no, it's just you need to market. You haven't market, you don't know whether your marketing is good. What's the point of looking at other people, right? So if you're looking for hacks, generally you won't last, because people who don't look at hacks, they just will just do a lot more better than you over the long haul. So Alex Omozi, a very good entrepreneur, I think, is he said that the long way is the shortcut. What generally will convince someone to join your tutoring business or your service? If you can get them results, fundamentally. If you can't get a student results, they won't join you. And if you can't get the result, that means it's a you problem. So you need to find a way to get results, right? And if you can't, then you need to think about it. Okay, so for me, generally, it's better to be great at teaching first, then market, versus marketing first and then you're marketing that you're a shit teacher lah, right? That's what if you don't handle the quality of teaching, that's what a lot of people will say about you lah. Okay, so that's about it. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want more of this kind of videos, subscribe down below and comment down what are the things that hurt your feelings. Because if it hurt your feelings, that means you have a insecurity that actually triggered a truth within you, right? These are things that generally help me to become seven figures, because I faced my insecurities, which is very hard to do. And the thing is that what's the end of the rainbow for this? You hit seven figures. And once you hit seven figures, there's a lot more things that you need to go through, right? And I haven't hit it, but 6 to 7, I feel that it's a very hard journey, but a worth it one. With that said, see you in the next one. Bye bye.